Something on their list they want to ask about, talk about, mention? All right. Why don't you get the microphone here?
Sorry. We just talked about this a few months ago, and it's funny that we're talking about it now because we've been married 16 years. And this is crazy things that add stress to your everyday life. And I encourage all the people that are engaged and just now getting married to sit down and really write this out, and then to also own it. If it's yours, you own it, and you're responsible. Because it's not fair for the other person to always pick up the slack or to allow you to own everything.
Right.
So if it's in your column,
simple,
you own
if
it.
you keep it simple, you'll keep it out of war.
Yeah.
It's when you get into emotions instead of wisdom that you get into craziness. When you start saying it just isn't fair, you've turned into emotions and you've left wisdom. Okay, anybody else? That was good, Mindy. Anybody else? All right. Did you like doing that, and is it worthy of more discussion when you get home and more thoughts in the next few days so that you can really ponder, what are we doing? What is our vocabulary? How do we talk? Am I going my? What is going on here? So it's like it could be deeply healing to know there's 3 categories. You know, maybe your husband's, my husband used to go bowling every Wednesday night when we had little kids. And he'd work all day and he'd come home and he was all excited while he was going bowling. I had a temper tantrum every bowling night for 20 years. You want to live with me? I'm horrible. I'm a recovering horrible mother, horrible wife. I have recovered. I have learned. But it was about me feeling sorry for myself because I had the kids all day. And if anybody got out, I was the one to get out. You see, and we get into self-pity, and then we get into being just hellish. So always watch that. Always pay attention. If you find self-pity, get rid of it quickly. And what about you? I want you to know she fell this week, and she cracked her skull. And would you look at how healthy she is? But there is a fracture. You want to talk? Say something really important. She wants to eat it. Okay. We talked a little bit about sharing interests, and we talked about our differences and our similarities. What we did is, when in the early years of marriage, we decided, well, what kind of movies do we really both like to see? Because we love movies. We grew up in the movie age. It was normal in our families to go to the movies once a week. That's what you did. And so going to a movie is a big deal to us. But then what kind of movies do we agree on that we liked? And working on those issues. When I saw my husband like games, would I like them too, or would I say I don't like games? The greatest temptation is to say I don't like. But he will meet you if you meet him. And he will come in your direction if you come in his direction. It's when you say I don't like and you begin to separate that you cause a lot of hell. Anything you want to say about that, Jerry? Are you ready? All right. Anybody else want to say anything? Interests. Activities. All right.
Well, I think on this game thing, it should be a triple-side street. I mean, if I go bowling and Betty wants to join a league, then that's fine. But the one thing I have to remember, because she's on the team, does not make me her coach. I'm not telling her what she's doing wrong with her approach, and she's breaking her wrist, and she's, because when you're watching somebody bowl, you can see a dozen things they're doing wrong at one time. And so, she's a little interested in bowling, so we go bowling once in a while. I'm more interested, so I go more than she does. She goes, well, if she was retired, we'd probably go to the Senior Citizen Center and play pool and a few other little things.
You're going to go to the Senior Citizen Center. That's on your list.
See? You get that little dig right in there, just a blow to the solar plexus. But that is basically the way I look at it, is that they're her activities, and I'm somewhat interested in them. They're my activities, she's somewhat interested. And we also have activities that neither one of us cross over. She said, let's go to the women are having a dinner from the swimming pool. Okay, I go to dinner with the swimming pool. 15 women and 2 men.
That's if you're lucky, honey.
That was my lucky day. But I'm just saying that's something that I have to consider. Maybe I'll stay home next time.
One of the problems we've had is my list of things is much longer than his. That doesn't mean my list is right and his is wrong. Our lists are different. So I was interested in politics. I was interested in Christian activities, which we both found an interest in. I was interested in civil defense. I was assistant director of civil defense in Washington County. I was interested in campfire. I had a campfire group of girls that I took through 10 years of campfire. So my list was pretty long. That can be good and bad. The important thing is, what do you put on our list? That's the essential. That's really the essential. And some people push their agenda awfully hard. Yes? Did you see the fire in her eyes? She's not even married yet. Can you imagine what that marriage is going to be like? Boy, I'm so glad you're fighting now. It's much better to fight before than it is during and after. Okay, ask the question again.
What if it's on the ours list, but one person ends up doing it?
Are you talking about an activity? Don't do it if it's, no, well, then you're foolish. You have to be smart in how you put those lists together, and you have to be able to sit down with them any day and make changes in them. Any day you see things are out of control, sit down with the list and say, let's take a look at it. What could we do differently? This should be negotiable. It's not written in stone. And so if a problem develops and one person sees it, it's like prayer. Get the list out, work on the list, say, could we make changes? Jerry and I make changes all the time, and it's good. Can you imagine old people being flexible?